Is this a historic loss for our U.S. airline industry?
Absolutely, and good morning to you. It's absolutely an historic loss, and the crisis itself has been unprecedented. So I think you were spot on in terms of your introduction on 2020.
So I have to ask you, so we're talking about $34 billion in losses. We're also hearing airlines saying that domestic COVID-19 testing would be a headwind for them, even though a lot of public health officials believe it's needed. Then we see a company like Southwest reporting its first annual loss in about 50 years. Have we actually seen the bottom for airlines, or can they fall further?
I think in terms of what we're seeing operationally, if you look at the daily TSA throughput numbers, they did bottom in mid-April of 2020, and you've seen a recovery in non-business travel that's been extremely uneven. So we had a couple of days in December where we passed 1 million passengers per day, and now we've rolled back down. So with very little business travel, we get to these typically non-holiday periods, and travel itself is very rough. So I think in terms of the earnings side of that, that's harder to say. Do we have another suppressed period for 3 weeks or 3 months? That will be a big determinant. So it would be hard to get as bad again as we were in April of 2020, but we're hardly out of the woods.
So, Stephen, American Airlines has also been touched by what Melissa Lee calls the Reddit revolution. That stock up double digits this morning, up 14% intraday yesterday. So are the fundamentals and just the financials out the window on a stock like this? Do you just look at this retail investor frenzy? Are you willing to buy? Where are you at on American Airlines?
Certainly. So I think when we look at this phenomenon and we try to ascertain what sort of fundamental drivers are going into the rally, why is this happening? Is this a big fundamental shift, or is this some kind of retail investor slash social media type initiative, where the latter, it's very hard to put math on that. So when we look at American Airlines, some fundamental blocking and tackling, the carrier reported a $2.2 billion net loss. It's got $34 billion in net debt reported for the end of the fourth quarter. That's $13 billion more than Delta or United. And that doesn't even include $7 billion in pension liabilities. So why should this one be having a big rally? We'd still like to do fundamental blocking and tackling on this one. So we are quite cautious on the recent price action.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.